cool ass up here. And Arnold, everybody, give it up for one more time. She's funny. Well, we're down to our last two comedians. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? I think you can. Yeah. Please give a warm, warm welcome to a very funny man, Brady Ecker, everybody.
What's going on? Yeah, really? Cool. Oh, a whole lot. Just to start things off, one of my biggest pet peeves about some of my fellow comedians, I love them all to death, but they'll come up here and they'll be like, how you doing? And they'll just go right into their set. They don't care about you. I care about each and every one of you. So when I say how you're doing, I mean it. So how you doing, sir? You have a good day? Yeah, awesome. You're enjoying your beer? All right, that's enough. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm really hungover right now, so your guys are in for a real treat. I got married yesterday. That's hence the hangover, because I'm trying to forget it. But her entire family's here tonight, and I'm just going to apologize off the bat. I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear me talk about her blowing me. But I guess we'll just go right into talking about my last divorce instead. I did get divorced while I was previously married, and there is some feedback going on. Can you guys hear that? Or is it just me? My hallucinating? Woo, I'm really hungover. I was married once before, and I got divorced, and I really thought that based on my divorce, I'd have a lot more, material for my comedy. And after days and days of sitting staring at this blank piece of paper, I finally realized that I fucking hate you is not that funny. I used to think I was being all romantical, and I'm not going to do this one in my new marriage, but we'd be in bed, and I'd roll over, and I'd give her a little nudge, and I'd go, hey, baby. You want to go for a ride on the Brady train? And that usually ended up with me in the spare bedroom going, choo, choo. Choo, choo. I'm kidding, I'd wait for her to fall asleep and I'd jerk off in her hair. It's a wonder I'm divorced, isn't it? Don't worry, baby. I only did that once. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. But the thing that I hate, the thing about divorce and that I didn't want to do it was because it meant that I had to go back to dating. And I hate dating. I'm not good at it. I'm not an attractive man. I don't talk to women very well. I don't like it. And I got set up immediately after my divorce on this blind date. And we're sitting at dinner, we don't know anything about each other. And I'm like, what do you do for a living? She's like, well, I'm an optometrist. You would have thought that was a barrel of monkeys, but it turns out not so much. And she says, well, what do you do for a living? I'm like, well, I'm a chef, but I'm really trying to get my comedy career going. And she looks me square in the eyes and goes, so what you're telling me is you've got a lot of growing up to do. I looked at her and I said, no poopy face, you've got a lot of growing up to do. Throat chopped her and ran the fuck out of there. So a couple days later, I'm out at the bar drinking, because that's what I do. Mama always said, do what you do best, so I became an alcoholic and a failure. I'm out at the bar with this girl, and I run into this girl I went to high school with, and she was the super popular girl. She was the cheerleader and had all the good friends, and I was the kid out back selling them weed. And she starts talking to me, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. So the next thing you know, we're making out, and we're back at her place, and all I can think is, how far have you fallen? Really? So she comes out of her bedroom, buck-ass naked, with a fistful of sex toys, and I'm thinking, this is going to be sweet. And then I realized she wanted to use those on me. And I was like, no. And she looks me in the eyes, and she goes, what goes around comes around. And I was like, well, honey, I didn't say anything about putting it there, because it only takes one really bad experience with that to ruin it for us, doesn't it, gentlemen? She's laughing. She's pooped on somebody before. So I throat chopped her and I ran the fuck out of there. So then I met this girl that I liked, and she liked me, and she wanted to have sex with me, and so we were having sex, and then one night we're laying in bed, and she rolls over, and she gives me a little nudge, and she goes, hey baby, you know what I want to do to you? It's like, what do you want to do to me? So I want to tie you up. I'm like, oh, then what are you going to do, naughty girl? She's like, then I want to shove a chopstick in your penis, shit on your chest, and lock you in the closet.
Oh, God.
And I was single once again. It's true. But then I did find the woman of my dreams. And she was beautiful, I mean gorgeous, and way, way above me. And so I just assumed she had really low self-esteem. And we moved in together, and I thought it was going to be all, you know, everything puppies and spice and everything nice, and it turns out all she wanted to do was yell and demean me, and I finally realized that she didn't have low self-esteem. She was planted by my ex-wife to keep me fucking miserable. But now I'm married to a wonderful woman, and she's great. And I don't have to date anymore. How about that? Woo! But has anybody tried Craigslist for dating? Some other people had talked about it. Has anybody done it? Yeah, me too, once, and I learned my lesson. I met up with this girl, and we're out at dinner, and we're talking, and like all through dinner, all she could talk about was chicks, and I love chicks. Chicks are so cute. I like to pet them and hug them, and I love chicks. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we go out for drinks afterwards, and she's still going on about chicks. I'm like, why, if you're so into chicks, are you into me? She's like, oh, I like cocks too. You know, cocks are great, but chicks, they're just so cute and fuzzy and little. And I love hens as well. And that's when I realized she was talking about chickens. This chick is nuts. I couldn't end the date because I wanted to have sex, because I didn't want to go home and have typical Saturday night sex, which is me in the fetal position, masturbating with my tears. So I fucked her. She liked chickens. She was nuts. I never answered the Craigslist ad again. I recently lost my what I call my real job as a chef, and I work part-time at a porn shop. No, it's not that great. But I reached the other night. This guy comes in, and he rents 6 5-hour DVDs. And they're all dudes fisting dudes. Every one of them. Which doesn't bother me, whatever, floats your boat. You know, that's cool. What I couldn't believe is this guy rented 30 fucking hours of porn. He's got 3 days to watch those. That's 10 hours of porn a day. What does his cock look like? That's a job. That's not entertainment. Really? Dude fisting dude, I don't care, but 30 hours of fucking porn, and then he bought a big pair of fake boobs, which I didn't really get, hence his material he was renting, but I guess, whatever floats your boat, like I said. Does anybody, you have a lot of TV watchers? A lot of people watch TV? Yeah, me too. I like to crochet and get sucked into the tube. But I got sucked into this. Have you noticed the proliferation of paranormal shows on TV lately? All the ghost shit that's out there. Anybody? I got sucked into this marathon of this show called Destination Truth. Have you ever seen that? Anybody? Is anybody out there? No, and it's whoever named that show is full of shit. Because I'm watching it, and these guys are in the middle of the deepest, darkest depths of Africa, and they're hunting these ancient Ubangi warrior ghosts. And at first, you know, I'm kind of watching, and they get out their little recorders, and like, is anybody here? They play it back, and you hear this, yes. I'm like, holy shit, they're talking to dead people. And then he's like, are you upset that they got massacred in that war hundreds of years ago? And could you just communicate with us? And you hear play it back, and he goes, why are you here? And that's when it hit me. Bullshit, dude, they're in the middle of fucking Africa hunting ancient ghosts. They wouldn't be speaking English, they'd be going, or what about these guys? Have you watched that show, Ghost Adventures, with the 3 straight guys from Vegas? Have you seen that show? Now, These guys, I gotta at least give some credit to, because I couldn't do what they do, because they go into the most haunted fucking places that they can find, and they like taunt these ghosts to come out and kick their ass, basically. Funny how it never happens, but they are always like taunting, and I couldn't do that, because I personally have not shit my pants in a long time. And the first time something tapped me on the shoulder and said, yes, I would crap myself and run the fuck out of there like a little schoolgirl. And I really don't want that to be on TV. So kudos to those guys. Speaking of poop, let's talk about me a little bit more. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I don't have a lot of hang-ups, but one of my hang-ups is pooping in public. I don't like to poop in public. And it's not because like it's gross or I'm afraid that it's gonna stink and other people are gonna smell it or anything like that. It's that you can't get comfortable, because it doesn't matter like what kind of a john you're in. If it's just the one where you lock the door and it's just you and you're sitting there in the room and you get the seat all warmed up and you're rocking to get stuff moving. Sure as shit, there's that rattle on the fucking door, and now I gotta push, and pushing causes hemorrhoids, and I don't fucking want hemorrhoids. Thanks a lot, jerk! Now I'm too stressed out to poop. Or you've got like the bank of toilets, like at the airport where there's like 50 stalls in a row and they're all empty. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. And you go in, you sit down, you get the seat all warmed up, you're rocking back and forth to get stuff going. And then sure as shit, here comes the one dude in the entire airport with the trots sitting in the goddamn stall next to you, and all you can hear is ass splash and farting noises. And I don't care that I'm 40 years old, I'm still gonna laugh at that shit. Now he knows I'm laughing at him, and he's embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed because he knows I'm laughing at him, and now we're both sitting in the goddamn stalls for 45 minutes. I wanna poop at home. Or at work where I'm getting paid for it. One of the two. You know what else bothers me? And this might be a little objectionable, whatever. But what the fuck with breastfeeding in public? I was at work like 2 weeks ago. I'm at work and I come out of the kitchen and I'm going to the bathroom, and this chick's sitting in the middle of the restaurant breastfeeding her baby, and she wasn't covered up. Like, I mean, you couldn't see her whole tit. Her tit was as big as my head, and you could see most of it. The kid was latched onto it. And, you know, I'm walking by, and I'm like, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Fuck. And she makes eye contact with me and just goes, like, what? Dude, you're the one with your tit out in public. It's not like I asked you for a sip. I just tried to peek a little bit. Well, what's the issue? Because I guarantee you, lady, if you ever see me in public getting something sucked on, I'm not going to go, I'm going to go, whoo. Yeah. Fucking A right, yeah. I don't like things in public. We've already discussed that. Anyway, speaking of kids, I have a child. Any other parents in the house? Yeah, my in-laws, they're here. They are married to their child. I'm sorry. So I do have a kid, and he's awesome. He's 15 years old, and he's really a good kid. But last year, he went from having really good grades, well, mediocre grades, shitty grades, to having shittier grades. And his mom calls me, and she's all freaked out. She's like, Jason's failing school. We gotta get him to the doctor. He's got ADD. He needs to get on the Adderall. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He's 14 fucking years old. He doesn't have ADD. He's got LAZY. And then he comes over and he showed me a picture of his girlfriend. What the fuck with these girls? There were not boobs like that when I was 14, because if there were, I would have had ADD too. I've got 2 more things I'm going to complain about, and then I'm going to get out of here. Does anybody remember they brought it to us briefly? The great city of Portland thought that we were too stoned or stupid to realize there was a 3-ton bus coming at us, because I guess at the time the